what we're going to do next as I re-pull up the schedule and take down my notes from my breakout session is we're going to move to a discussion of local politics. I believe, Lou, are you on?
I am.
All right, I'm not seeing you on. Oh, there you are. So, Lou, I'm going to hand it over to you to discuss, local politics, local policy, and what you've been doing for the party. I want to thank you for coming this evening and making time to join us live and to give us your thoughts.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thanks to the party leadership, and just a special thanks to Zeb Bicelli. He introduced me to the party about a year or so ago. We connected on some Strong Towns information with Chuck Marone and his group, and I voiced some frustrations I was having with the Republican Party at that time, and he shot me a link, and I've been getting into it ever since. So thanks, Zeb, for that, for stewarding me along the way. I'm talking about local government, and I know it's a bit of a swing. A lot of the focus right now is on the national level. I think rightfully so, and we've seen a lot of the good and the bad happening play out this week. What I want to do is I want to ask each of you to answer the call. Look at yourself and look to see where your communities could use you, where your state could use you, and make sure that you really reflect on it and see where you could be called to help out. I know it could be daunting. I know it might be out of your comfort zone a little bit. It is out of mine. I'm not a guy who enjoys conflict, and to be involved in local government almost puts you in the front lines of conflict every day with neighbors and other folks in town. So I know it can be difficult, but know that just by being here and who you are and the care that you have, that you are equipped to handle that. Any position in local government. And so as long as you have a sense of humility, willingness to learn, and the want to help the other, then you'll definitely be a success. I saved my introduction to right now because I wanted to make sure I got that key part of the message out first. But as I was telling my breakout session, as of January 1 of this year, I am now the interim city manager for St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. We're a town, a city in Pennsylvania of about 12 to 13,000 people, just depending on where the census kind of is going to nail us this year. But for the last 3 years, I was mayor of the town. And then for 4 years prior to that, I was on our city council. I've been a member of our local Catholic school board, our hospital board. I've taken some local leadership classes and led some classes as well. So I've been around the block, and I think I've done that just because this is my hometown. I grew up here, I moved away. Came back and wanted to make sure I gave back and made the town and got the town back to the good place that I remembered it being when I was growing up here. So, I think you all probably have your own story. You live, you might be retired, and this is a new place for you as well. So I would say definitely, take that not as a detriment, but take that as a bonus going into that position, and look to see how you can use your skills to get involved. One of the things that did help me out a lot is that since the age of 5, I've been a politics junkie. I remember in kindergarten writing President Reagan, I think at the time, and asking him, who killed President Sadat over in Egypt. And I got some weird looks from my kindergarten teacher, especially when I wasn't enjoying the coloring too much. I was busier trying to figure out foreign affairs. So, but that kind of got me down a path, and I was able to scratch that itch all throughout my life. Spending time with family down in Washington, D.C., and I was able to, spend a summer down there working for my congressman when I was in college. So, that was my foundation, was at that national level, and I always thought that was where that's where the magic is. That's where things happen. And then I moved back, had the family, a father of 9. Very involved in my community, obviously, but also involved in my church. I married very well, so anything that I'm able to do, it's only because of my spouse that's behind me. My wife, Elena, we've been married, going to be 18 years this year. And it's been an incredible ride. And one of the things that she supported me on from day one was this love of government and wanting to be involved in my community. And that's where I'd like to, challenge each of you. I know the national politics is probably, something near and dear to all of us. But make room for your local, make room for your state government, because honestly, the way I look at it, unless you have that interstate, driving right through the middle of your town, I would ask, why is the interstate driving right through the middle of your town or your city? That's probably not doing good for your economic climate there. But I would say that, your federal policies may not be helping you quite as much, and you could be making more of an impact if you really got to know your state policy and your local government, your codes, your ordinances, your resolutions. You got to know them a little bit better and how effective they can be, and what support organizations are out there as well. And I think that's where the American Solidarity Party really has a message that's unique than the traditional duopoly that's out there. One of the things that in our statement of principles, the one thing that obviously being a father of 9 is that centrality of family. I mean, that's just so important and so golden to what we do. In that, I grew up Catholic, I've been raising my kids Catholic, and my family is my unit. That's who we are. We're the Radkowskis. We live on Center Street, and everybody knows we're coming because they can hear us. Please keep your family in mind in anything you do. Don't overextend yourself, but let your involvement in whatever it is at your local level or at your state level, allow that to be an outshoot or an offshoot of your own family. What are the things that you like to do? You have a lot of kids, and get involved in your park system. You have a bent, you and your wife have your spouse have a bent for numbers, and see how you can help out with some financial capability, maybe with your municipal authority. Your school district's important to you, or your Catholic system or your private system's important to you. What do you need to do to get on that board? So, use your family as kind of your ability to then launch off into something that you'd want to get involved with more. And then that just builds your community up. Your family is that building block. And that then grows into that other principle that we have is of that community. As I mentioned, being mayor of St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and now being city manager, I have a unique set of problems that are here in front of me. And we are a rural community. We've had jobs leave. We have companies close down, and those are the challenges that are in front of us. How do we keep people from hemorrhaging out of our area? And some of you out there might be hearing that story and saying, hey, yeah, same here with us. And know that we are all trying to tackle these same kind of problems. And you need to find you need to find that identity. You need to help your community find that identity, and know that failure is okay. You're going to fail, but you need to sit there and say, okay, what did I learn, and then how do I get back into it? And some of the stories I have, and I don't want to bore everybody with my own local government tales of yore, but St. Mary's is actually the second largest city in Pennsylvania when you look at the land area. So basically, we have 12 to 13,000 people, and we have about 99 to 100 square miles of space. So if I can put that in perspective, we're about double the size of San Francisco in terms of land area, but with only about 1.5% of the people. So there's a lot of space out there. The issue is we have a lot of road, we have a lot of pipe. We have some sprawl, which a rural community really, how can a rural community have sprawl? Well, when you're as big as we are, we have sprawl. Our tax base isn't there. So, knowing that in our community, and when you have people leave, you have young families leave, you have you have a community built off of retirees, fixed income, property taxes all of a sudden become a pretty heavy burden for folks to carry. So it's a matter of, what are those challenges, and what are some of those unique ways that you can work within your community to make that stronger? As I mentioned at the top, the Strong Towns movement has been essential to what we're doing. How do you get done more with less? You need to get creative, and you need to know that you can't sit there and risk $500,000 or risk the big tax credit for the business coming in, the large business coming in, and putting it all in the middle of the table on 20 and hoping 20 hits on the roulette wheel. It's not going to work. You need to be smart with your money. You need to be efficient with how you spend the money, and you need to know what you're backing, and you need to start to back local people and local entrepreneurs to make sure that your community not only is stronger, but then can be more be viable going into the future. With all of that said, it touches on to that again, that's the principle that we have of economic security, making sure everyone's able to have a living, make a good living. So, whether you're on any of these authorities or boards, or if you run for elected office, you need to make sure that you're positively impacting the folks that you're representing and the institution that you're working with. Understand how your revenues are generated. Is property tax the only lever you have to pull? Do you have the ability to have some sales tax, have some sales tax or income tax? How does your state set that up? What are your local rules around that? How are you running with on your sewer system, on your water systems? Can you do a fixed rate? Can you do something on consumption? Really looking at that with a critical eye and getting involved. And all of these things flow from, problems or things that are coming from the national level. You want fresh streams, you want good water, you want healthy forests, you want jobs that can pay and people and livelihoods that can be made off of that, strong families in your area. All of those things come from policy that's set at these higher levels. So that interest that each of you may have at that national level, you'll find a niche that you can fill at your local level. I guarantee it. There's a lot of good stuff that you can do within your communities to make them stronger, to make them more viable, and to take them to within the next coming decades. Give them that solidarity within the community that they need to be effective. And in there, important to me, it may not be important if you're in an urban environment. You may not see it as much, but caring for those resources. We touched a little bit on it in our breakout session as well, but making sure that you have a principled stance and not only looking for the economic security, and that's the only thing you're looking at, but that you're caring for that creation that has been entrusted to us. As I said, we have a lot of space here, and we have a lot of woods, and we have a lot of people like to hunt and fish. The thing is we're right in Marcellus shale country, and we've had natural gas folks come in and wanting to drill, and we're in the middle of a lawsuit right now with one of our natural gas providers in the area, because we won't let them drill where they want to drill. We've extended and we've made our regulations here locally a little bit more stringent than Pennsylvania's, but it's in our right to do so. They're not overly stringent. We're asking them not to drill maybe 250 feet a little bit further away from water sources and away from buildings. I don't think that's too much to ask, but they apparently think it is. And I feel it's my duty, mayor and now as manager, to make sure that we're protecting those resources. So make sure that when you're in that and you're taking that interest that you have now, and as you kind of run into these local, and you maybe dip your toe into these local positions, know that you may need to put a fight out there and have that conflict, and know that you're doing it from a principled stance and that you're doing it in the right. So I ask that each one of you please do get involved. And I think after the chaos and those surreal scenes that we saw in Washington, D.C. this week, that we need you all more than ever, these good people that are on this call. So, unfortunately, we needed you last week, and I think we needed you last year, and we needed people running for these offices, these good people running for offices, so these things don't happen again. But before you make that run, or before you put your name in and you write that letter to your local government to say, hey, I'm interested in running for this, or I'm interested in being appointed to that, definitely discuss with your family, loved ones, pray about it, make sure that your heart's in the right place, so that you're doing it as part of your natural being and as part of your family unit. I'm preaching to the choir, I know that, but I do think it's important to say that, because I know that it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have those moments of distraction and those moments of weakness and those moments that you're feeling like a failure. Social media is awful, so I would say you need to be on it, but please, as it's said before and it's said again, just ignore the comments. Don't look at the comments. From experience, don't look at the comments. But I do encourage you, please get involved and know that the American Solidarity Party is not just for national concerns. It is essential at that local level, and I encourage you to get involved. So thanks a lot for listening to me tonight. Thanks for the invite to speak tonight. I appreciate it, all of you. I appreciate everything that you do, especially the party leadership. And I look forward to working alongside each one of you in the future. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lou. For those of you who are wondering where the ASP office holders are, there's one right there, and we appreciate what you've been doing to represent the party in Pennsylvania, Lou. Thank you all for your patience and for working with us tonight and for having the discussions and the ideas that you've shared. I'm going to turn this over to my colleague on the National Committee, Bonnie Kallis, to close us out for the evening.
Thank you, Albert. And on behalf of the National Committee, I would like to thank you all and thank the organizers, the presenters, and you, the members, for offering your skills, your talents, your vision for our party to grow into the future. It should be mentioned that for over 2 hours, over 100 people talked politics with no fighting, no negativity, no riots. We had civil conversation regarding the future of our country and our party. That's a beautiful thing. Tomorrow we have another exciting session planned, including speeches and some more focused breakouts. You'll have several to choose from. I believe in the chat, we will have a Google form where you can select your top 2 preferred breakout sessions, and we'll try to accommodate that for tomorrow. We will also be emailing to you the link to the Google form, so you can do it via the email as well. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. We'll be using the same Zoom link that you used today. And good night and God bless. Thank you, Albert.